The time is 7:03. We have Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco lead us by an invocation. So all those that are able to stand, please do so at this time. Thank you.
Let us bow our heads and pray to God. Heavenly Father, we pray for peace on earth, that all the areas of earth that have a conflict, that they may find peace, to protect the men and women of our country that are there fighting for freedom, to protect the men and women, our firefighters, our police officers, all those first-line responders, to keep them out of harm's way, and to bless our leadership here on the City Council and other boards of directors in different areas of our city, that they make the right decisions for our community. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. All right. At this point, I will ask those to please face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and good evening to everyone for joining us here today. Council members wishing to close on anyone in particular? Yes, Councilmember Cruz Baca.
I'd like to close on behalf of Robert McNeil Jr., Robert McNeil Sr., and Julia McNeil's oldest son, who passed away 2 weeks ago. Wow. He's also Rod and Fred McNeil's brother. So they lost two brothers within a couple of months. So
wow.
My condolences.
How old was he?
Probably about 70.
Wow.
Yes, he was the oldest of the McNeil sons.
Wow.
Yes, so condolences to the family, and they're dealing with such a loss, so many losses within a short time.
Explain to them about the family.
Well, first of all, Robert Sr. and Julia McNeil were very active and council members in our community. The Julia McNeil Center, which a lot of you know, was named after the mother, Julia McNeil, who was such an activist and did so much for our community. Fred and Rod went to school with me at Baldwin Park High School, and football players that later went on to play professional football. Fred with the Tampa Bay and Fred with the Vikings and Rod with Tampa Bay. Fred passed away about a month or so ago, about 2 months ago, due to many concussions that he had. I'm sure that all of you have heard what's happened to a lot of the pro players that have had concussions like that, and he passed away. So they lost their older brother.
Wow. Our condolences goes out to this particular family who are icons in the city of Baldwin Park. All right, so at this point, anyone else wishing, Councilmember? Yes, Susan.
If I may, thank you.
Yep.
Well, we've always been very supportive of the military, but in particular, I'd like to just acknowledge that this is National Military Appreciation Month, and you all know I have my baby brother overseas, so I want to just send a hello and make sure that everyone's taken care of. So let's say some prayers for them. It's also Teacher Appreciation Week, and of course, I'm a teacher, and I want to say to all my fellow teachers, thank you for what you do. I know it's sometimes a difficult job, but thank you for doing it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Councilman Ricardo Pacheco?
Yes, but I also wanted to announce that they are having a 5th Annual Veterans Forum on Saturday, June 25th at the National Guard Armory on Sierra Madre Street. It'll be on our website if you'd like more information. It's held by U.S. Congresswomen Grace Napolitano and Judy Chu in association with other veteran service organizations. And they'll have a number of workshops to talk about different issues facing our veterans. So hopefully you can all attend. It will also be on our website, and somebody was handing out some flyers. Also, just like to announce that on, I think it was last Wednesday, a number of council members attended the Irwindale MRF, and we spoke in opposition to it, although the hearing is held off for another month. A number of us there, the mayor, Councilwoman Monica Garcia, Councilman Cruz Baca, and myself attended, and we spoke and made some statements that we would like to see a different alternative to the MRF, if not have that MRF here. So I'd just like to extend that out to the community that on, I'm not sure, what's the next date that they're going to have their hearing?
25th.
May 25th.
May 25th, so get that word out and get everybody out there to help us oppose that MRF. And on another more positive note, the Wayne Manor facility that was going to be built, that is a rehab facility that is close to the school and within the residents, a number of residents were against it. That project is canceled, and I think they're proposing something new. So that's something that, with the community, You stood up, you fought against it, and you were able to make some changes. So it's good. We should get together and have a little celebration on that in the next couple of weeks. Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor.
Go ahead. Yes.
I did attend the rally early yesterday morning, but I had to leave after 20 minutes, and there were a lot of people that did rally against Wayne Manor. So that goes to show that the squeaky wheel does get the wheel. But I also want to recognize Luz Medina, the senior high school student from Sierra Vista High School that received the Michelle and Bill Gates Millennium Award. And unfortunately, it'll be the last one that they will be giving. But I would like to recognize her at the council meeting before graduation because it is a big deal. She will be going on to Stanford. And so another product of Baldwin Park that perseverance does pay. So I'm very excited about her. I met and saw her mother and her at an event the other day. I'm very excited, and congratulations to the Medina family for that.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. I want to also recognize a Baldwin Park resident, and I'll just read by the name of Julian Rodriguez, a graduate from Baldwin Park High School in 1981, joined the Navy on November 27th, 1989. Last day of active service is June 30th, 2016. So we're sending a letter, and also we'll have an opportunity to speak to him when they present him. I believe it's this Friday, and he is currently at a base along Nicaragua. So what I'm going to do is also forward to his family the city flag, so he's able to fly it out there. Tradition that we started here quite some time with some of our veterans. So we're looking forward to bringing him once he comes to Baldwin Park and recognize him. Hopefully, maybe during the concerts or one of the veterans. If not November, on Veterans Day. All right, council members have any other?
Yes. Also, I've got
Councilmember.
really exciting news that I think it's exciting for our residents in Baldwin Park. I attended the Metro board meeting last Thursday morning, and it was yes and no, that they would continue, that Metro would make the transition on to Foothill Transit to continue the 190 and the 194 lines that are the lines that are so important to our students going on to Citrus, Mount Sac, and Cal Poly. And after much talking, and there were several of us board members and several council members from other cities, and it was voted unanimously that they would make the transition from the Metro to the transit, Foothill Transit. So we're not going to be losing those two lines, and we're very excited about that.
Absolutely.
We need to celebrate. Very, very nice.
Reporting that. Thank you very much. All right, no further, I will now ask the City Treasurer, Maria Contreras, roll call, please.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Councilmember Cruz Baca.
Here.
Councilmember Susan Rubio.
Present.
Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Monica Garcia.
I'll move to excuse her. She won't be here today.
Mayor Manuel Lozano.
Present. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, so we have a good number of presentations, and the first one that we have here, we'll go over to the oath of office for appointed Planning Commissioner Edith Flores. Is she here? Oh, come on up, Edith. We'll bring her up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and swear her into office as the Planning Commissioner. Oh yeah, can you do that too? Okay, there you go. I want to do, I guess I'll do this. Let's come on over here. That's not. All right, so at this point, I'm going to go and swear into office as a planning commissioner. So I'll ask you to please raise your right hand. And at this I state your name.
I, Edith Flores,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United
and the Constitution of the State of California
States and the California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the State of California,
to the California,
that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of
and that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duty
upon which I am about to enter.
on which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations, Commissioner.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have you signed it here, Mika?
Good evening. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We're going to get our picture with you, so let's get everyone. Come on this side.
I love red.
All righty? Thank you. Thank you. Let me see who's the next one. All righty, the following one that we have, we're going to have Councilmember Cruz Baca read the presentation of proclamation recognizing May 2016 as the National Lupus Awareness Month. So do we have that one? Older America?
The proclamation reads, whereas systematic lupus erythematosus, commonly known as lupus, is an acute, chronic, complex, and often life-threatening autoimmune disease, and researchers estimate that 5 million people have been diagnosed with lupus or related diseases throughout the world, and approximately 100,000 more are diagnosed every year. And it has been estimated that more than 1.5 million Americans live with some form of lupus, and lupus strikes women of childbearing age, and it affects all aspects of their lives. And women of color develop lupus at a rate 2 to 3 times the rates that Caucasians develop lupus. And lupus impacts more than just the life of the patient. It affects their family, friends, co-workers, employers, and the community. And lupus can be particularly difficult to diagnose because its symptoms are similar to symptoms of other illnesses. And early diagnosis and proper treatments are critical to the improvement of the quality of life and survival rate of people with lupus. And increased public awareness, education, and research are key to winning the battle against lupus. And major gaps exist in the understanding of the causes and consequences of lupus. Now, therefore, Mayor Lozano, the City of Baldwin Park, along with Mayor Pro Tem Monica Garcia and Council Members Cruz Baca, Ricardo Pacheco, Susan Rubio, City Treasurer Maria Contreras, and City Clerk Alejandra Avila, do hereby proclaim May 2016 as Lupus Awareness Month throughout the City of Baldwin Park.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Council Member. Is there anyone here to pick that up? Oh, there is? Oh, okay. Come on up. You can come on up. You going to do the other one?
Thank you for being here.
Welcome back.
Come in the middle so we not fit.
We actually have a couple of lupus survivors. So my sister, lupus survivor, Valerie,
Pleasure.
and Yesenia.
Pleasure.
Ladies, can you all come in the middle so we can have them?
Where are we giving this? Okay, good, good. We can get our pictures.
According to Lupus Foundation.
Yeah. And if you, I'm going to get in the middle with you guys here.
Hold on. Changing to the guards.
Got it? Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me just add, is there possible we could have someone talk about? We could kind of.
Hi, thank you everybody for being here tonight. I do appreciate that the City of Baldwin Park is proclaiming Lupus Awareness Month here in the City of Baldwin Park. It does impact a lot of residents here of the City of Baldwin Park and also the surrounding cities. We do provide support groups every second Saturday of the month at the Baldwin Park Community Outreach Center for Kaiser. And actually this month we did not have a location, and I'm going to get emotional because I didn't know where we were going to have it, and we couldn't have it anywhere. And I reached out to the community center for the Esther Snyder Community Center, and they are giving us a room. So I really appreciate it.
Let's have someone else also talk about. Who wants to talk about the experience? Do you want? Yes. Talk to us about the actual experience that you go through.
I've been living with lupus for 22 years now. I was diagnosed, as they mentioned, during childbearing years. Throughout my experience, my life has changed dramatically multiple times. So we live with lupus. We overcome as well as we can the effects of the disease, which could be attacking our organs, kidneys, heart, brain, lungs, and we move forward. And it changes each year, and we continue to move forward. We often deal with pain, joint pain, swelling, so constant inflammation, and lupus fogs. That was it. In other words, we lose our memory very often. So that is, in a nutshell, as much as I can tell you about this disease. That is, as it is ever-changing in our lives, and we continually work to raise money for research so that we can get closer and closer to some kind of medications that'll bring us to an idea of why this is happening to us and for a cure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm going to go over to the college.
Mayor,
Yes,
with that, I'd like to
absolutely.
segue, since we're talking about type of cancer. I would like to remind everyone that May the 14th from 9 in the morning until May 15th at 9 in the morning, we will be having our Relay for Life at Baldwin Park High School. And that's also, please come and join us, the ladies from the Lupus Organization. If you could please join us. Many of us have teams for the Relay for Life, May 14th at 9 in the morning until Sunday morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. And we camp out and sing songs and have a luminaria, and very nice event to remember those that we've lost and also those that are survivors. So please join us. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you. I'm going to skip a little here. I'm going to go over to the Baldwin Park school students. So, Cesar Arevalo, is he here? Oh, come up to the actual lectern here. Cesar, so I'll read this out real quick. Then I'll have you come up here. All right, so just want to let everyone know, Cesar Arevalo was born in the city of Sonate in El Salvador. At the age of 5, Cesar's parents brought the family to the U.S. to move themselves from the violence in their country and to provide a bright future for their children. After living in Huntington Park for a year and Boyle Heights for 6 years, his parents bought a house in Baldwin Park and have been living here since 2010. Cesar attended Jones Junior High School and will graduate from Baldwin Park High School on June the 2nd. Cesar has been the co-captain of the cross-country and distance track team since his sophomore year. In addition, he co-founded the Vanguard News, Baldwin Park High School's first online newspaper. Cesar was accepted to 11 colleges, including 6 Ivy Leagues, and he was featured on ABC Channel 7 Eyewitness News on April 12th. Cesar will most likely be attending Stanford, which I believe that's where you accepted, right?
Yeah.
Stanford University in the fall to study engineering. So at this point, I want to, on behalf of the City of Baldwin Park, want to congratulate you. We're I say that we're extremely overjoyed and enthusiastic for the fact that, yes, in America, you could live out your dreams, and you are the reality of that particular segment of this great country. So I want to recognize you. And again, today we have a certificate for you, but we hope during the summer you'll come to one of our concerts where we want to present you with a plaque of the City of Baldwin Park. Is your family here?
Yeah, my parents.
Why don't we bring, let's bring them all up here. Let's bring them up on stage here. Let's come up here on stage, the dais. So, Cesar, come on up.
Mayor, could I
Yes,
just see?
absolutely.
I'm proud of all our students here in Baldwin Park, especially, of course, Baldwin Park High School, because it is my alma mater. But I also want to thank the mother and the father and the community and the teachers and everyone that helped to guide. I think yesterday was Teacher Appreciation Day.
that is correct.
And when you look back at who helped you along the way, it's always that one teacher, that one parent, or that one person that told you that you could do it and pushed you and nudged you and encouraged you that you could. So I'm very proud not only of Cesar, but also the young woman that I mentioned earlier, but everyone, all of our students and everyone's accomplishments here in the City of Baldwin Park. Thank you.
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
I'd just like to say that
Go ahead.
Cesar is an exceptional role model in our community for other students to see that by working hard and doing all the right things, being exceptionally out there and going above and beyond what everybody else does, you're able to achieve high goals. So big round of applause to Cesar and his family for all the hard work they've done.
Yes. Yeah, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and have Cesar come and say some words of encouragement to other potential students. And just a reminder that we're also going to acknowledge all the high GPA students from all three high schools, Sierra Vista, Baldwin Park High School, and North Park as well. But go ahead, Cesar.
Hi. First off, I just want to thank everybody who's here, especially to the entire community of Baldwin Park. It's been amazing, all the support I've received over these past few weeks. I'm excited to carry this name on for the rest of my life. And to all the parents, know that if you keep encouraging your children, they will do great things. Thank you.
Yeah, let me also present you with a certificate. I have to use my glasses here, Cesar. Okay. This is what it reads. It reads Baldwin Park High School, in recognition of being an exceptional role model and for your standout academic achievements of Baldwin Park High School. The City Council congratulates you for receiving acceptance letters to 11 colleges, including 6 Ivy Leagues, and for your featured interview on ABC Channel 7 Eyewitness News. Thank you for your hard work and dedication and for the favorable recognition you bring to your school and our community. So on behalf of the City of Baldwin Park, thank you very much. And as I stated before, we're gonna feature him in the city newsletter so that all 75,000 residents will know. And then tomorrow, for certain, Manny, let's get his name up on the marquee as well. So on behalf of the City of Baldwin Park, let's bring up your parents as well. Let's introduce your parents. ¿Quieres decir unas palabras? ¿Unas palabras? Pásale.
Muy buenas noches. Good evening to everybody, Baldwin Park community. We do really appreciate this moment, and Mayor,
Thank you.
we do appreciate. It's been a very tremendous time for us coming to this country, knowing that everything has to be going to be hard. My kids went through the school, doing a lot of work, working hard all day, every day, until they succeeded. Thanks God we have 2 other kids that are succeeding at the university level. My older son already graduated from UC Berkeley. My second child, my daughter, is going to graduate this coming summer, and she's going to be the engineer. So we're so proud of our kids, and we do really encourage you, parents, to promote education, bring in a lot of things that your kids might need, take out things that will damage their brain, their behaviors, their willingness to succeed. This is going to be very helpful for your family. And one thing that we have in our family is that unity is a major thing. Keep together and bring in values. Those are very important. Thank you very much. And to the City of Baldwin Park, thank you.
Thanks very much. Frank, do you want to say something? No? Okay. All right. We're going to take a picture. Okay, let's get into it. Pictures. Get it, Maddie, can you get a picture for her?
Well, while having the picture taken, I also want to say a few words. We couldn't be more proud of this young man, and I know that the challenges for our kids today is a lot more than when we were going to school. Every year it gets tougher and harder, and the competition for better jobs gets harder, but we couldn't be more proud of him. As a teacher, like I always say, it always gives me great pride when I see kids succeed, but even if they don't go to college, I see a lot of youth doing a lot of great things, and so I also want to commend those that take a positive life after graduation, even if it's not higher education. So as long as we stick to education and get our high school degree, we can do great things. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All righty. All right, the next one that we have, presentation of proclamation, the Older American. You want to go ahead and read that? Thank you.
We're here to present a proclamation for Older American Month, and this year's theme is Blaze a Trail 2016. Whereas older Americans are among our greatest treasures, providing invaluable links to the past, wise counsel for the future, and the gift of longevity, will ensure that today's and tomorrow's seniors will continue making significant contributions to our families by giving of themselves freely and by sharing their own wisdom and experience. And whereas it is important to acknowledge the contributions older individuals have made to our economic well-being in our communities and in the workplace through civic leadership, mentoring, and whereas the seniors of tomorrow will be increasingly multicultural, multilingual, multi-generational, more diverse socially, ethnically, and economically than most generations, and whereas an expanding elder population will profoundly impact every facet of our lives, redefining our ideas of work, retirement, and leisure time, altering our housing and living arrangements, challenging our health care system, reshaping our economy, and altering social and public policy, and whereas the opportunities and challenges that await us as we begin a new chapter in human history require our continued commitment to the goal of ensuring that our senior citizens may enjoy active, productive, and healthy lives, and do so independently, safely, and with dignity for as long as they choose. And whereas the declaration of Older American Month coincides with the recognition of May as Older American Month by the President of the United States, with the year's national theme being Safety Today, Health Tomorrow. Now, whereas Manuel Lozano, Mayor of the City of Baldwin Park, along with Mayor Pro Tem Monica Garcia, Council Members Cruz Baca, Ricardo Pacheco, and myself, Susan Rubio, along with City Treasurer Maria Contreras and City Clerk Alejandra Avila, do hereby proclaim May 2016 as Older American Month and urge all residents to participate in appropriate ceremonies honoring these men and women who we value definitely in the City of Baldwin Park. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for making us proud. And I always say this, I always aspire to be like you when I'm your age. I always see them dancing the night away and out dancing me at parties, and I want to keep up with you when I'm older. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
You should see them at casino night.
Yeah, that's right. Do we have anyone that's going to pick this up, the actual proclamation? What's that?
We have two honorees.
Oh, okay, so we'll do it once we're on it. Okay, all right. We'll go ahead and do that once we're on it then. So, all right, so at this point, we're going to have the presentations of plaques to Elvia Ramos and Lidia Marquez, which are the winners of the Senior Citizen of the Year Award 2016. So let's have them come up here. The first one that I will read will be Elvia Ramos. Elvia Ramos, I'll read this off as she makes her way up to the dais. The City of Baldwin Park nominated Elvia Ramos as the Senior of the Year. Ms. Ramos has been a resident of Baldwin Park since 1973. She is a dedicated mother and grandmother, has 5 adult children, and is a foster mother of 4. Ms. Ramos is a very active senior and contributes her time to various agencies. She has volunteered at Senior Center for the past 17 years. She enjoys going to the Senior Center at 7 a.m., that's early, to prepare coffee for all the seniors that attend the programs. Ms. Ramos helped organize the holiday potluck and is always the first person to sign up. She's not only volunteers at the Senior Center in Baldwin Park, but also finds time to volunteer at her local church as a counselor for troubled teens. She also helps with fundraisers to support the missionary groups by selling her homemade specialty foods. You have to invite me to your house. Okay, tamales, stuffed chili peppers, and special desserts. So on behalf of the City of Baldwin Park, we're going to present. We're going to present you. Elvia Ramos reads, the City Council congratulates you for your commitment and dedicated volunteer services to the citizens and community of the City of Baldwin Park. So I want to present her with the plaque, the symbol of the city. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'll hold your plaque.
The only thing I want to say thank you for giving me. No. My voice is. I want to say thank you, everybody, for Irma for calling me, the senior of the year, and God bless you.
Thank you. All righty. We're going to get our picture. Let's come on back. We'll get our picture. You all fit? Ray, let's get on this side. Spread the line. We're on you next. All right, thank you. Is that it? All right.
Is that it,
Thank
Dennis?
you. Thank you very much. Okay, so we have the next one. All right, the next one is for Lydia Marquez, the Baldwin Park Adult and Community Education nominated Lydia Marquez as the Senior of the Year. Lydia, come on up here. Lydia is a widow and has 2 adult children and 2 grandchildren. Since her retirement, she has enjoyed taking several of her older adult classes and is currently enrolled in the Chinese brush painting class, which I think is excellent, by the way. Ms. Ramos has participated as a representative for the Student Leadership Committee for older adult programs for the past 4 years. She is always available to volunteer in many events and was instrumental in supporting and attending meetings with local politicians and rallied in support for keeping older adult programs. Awesome. Ms. Ramos is a caring and giving person who brings joy to everyone she encounters on her daily basis. So we present you with a plaque that reads, Lydia Marquez, the City Council congratulates you for your commitment and dedicated volunteer service to the citizens and community members of the City of Baldwin Park. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
You want to say some more?
I want to thank Denise Tonatori and Dr. John Kerr for this great honor. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to take a picture of you. Turn the plaque around. Go back a little? Okay.
Elvia's here
There
too.
we go. Yes.
Elvia's behind you.
Oh, Elvia. Here, let's put you here. Thank you. Thank you for telling me. Here we go. Oh. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. No me la jales.
Alrighty. Okay, so the next item that we have on here is the presentation by the Police Chief Michael Taylor and Baldwin Park Police Association's President Jason Adams on the Police Department's participation in annual Baker to Vegas Law Enforcement Run 2016. Can't wait for this. I'm going to fill it up with some nice ice cold water tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Jason, if you come to the podium, please. Mr. Mayor, as you know, every year we participate in the Baker to Vegas Run. It's a run that's been going on annually for about the last 31 years, as I could read the history. Originally started by LAPD in the early 80s, and we now run from Baker, California to Las Vegas, Nevada. But originally they used to run in Death Valley, and that's where it started. Thank God they changed it to Baker to Vegas because it's a little less hot than Death Valley, I would imagine. But we've been participating ourselves in the program since, I believe, about 91. I'm not sure, Jason. But I do know that I did run in the first Baker to Vegas run that we participated in as a police department. Just a little bit of a background. It's a 120-mile distance. There's 20 legs. It's a baton race where you pass it off to the next runner. The legs are different distances and lengths depending upon the difficulty of the leg itself. There's about 270 organizations that participate. It's a worldwide event. It's the largest event of its type in the world for law enforcement itself. So those are some of the statistics about it. It's every year. And the Police Association, in conjunction with the Police Department, we all volunteer our time. It works off of donations. And we participate in the Baker to Vegas leg. In fact, this year I participated as a helper, not a runner this year. The association presented you with mugs in appreciation of recognizing them and also your continued support that you've given them over the years for participating in this. Jason's up here to give you a little bit of the statistics about our participation and how well we did this year. Mugging is a big deal. Jason, if you would.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Council, Mr. Mayor, the mug that you all have received is it's an identical mug to what the runners get, and each team that finishes in the top 4 in their category gets a mug.
Wow.
And that's the traditional trophy of the relay race. This year we finished 4th in this 99 at the top of your mug symbolizes that we run in the under 99 officer category. There's different categories that you can run in. Some of our open categories where all employees of a PD can run, from records folks, dispatch. If you're an employee, you can run. There's also agencies that are, this past year, New York City PD sent a team. So you have agencies that have 15,000, officers that are running. And you can see on the list on either side of our mug here, you can see the team that won the race for that year. And you'll notice that a lot of them, for the last several years, it's been the LAPD elite team, which is basically they cherry pick all their best runners from their entire police force.
Exactly, I was going to say, that's a big department.
So the fact this year we finished 81st out of almost 300 worldwide teams.
That's good.
And for us to do that, and we've had a commitment to stay in this under 99 category because we think that's representative of our agency and how proud we are to be from Baldwin Park, to represent the city, to represent the community. And we compete against a lot of the other surrounding agencies here in the San Gabriel Valley, and frankly we handed it to them this year. So we're very proud of this. And some of the other agencies that aren't as committed to this race and don't get the cooperation that we received this year from, the chief, the department, the resources, and the ability to do this through the city, they'll bunch up other departments. So you'll have 2 or 3 departments running together, and very few of those teams outran us this year. So we're very excited about that. So when we go back to this event next year, we will be every runner and team is assigned a number, and so we'll be assigned number 81, which tells the competing runners who we are, where we expect to finish, and we hope to do even better. And a lot of it, frankly, is from the new leadership and the new kind of movement within the department, within the community, within the city over the last several years. We have a lot of new runners like Officer Herrera and some of our newer officers, as well as many people that have participated in the program and the race, like the chief, for several years. So as far as we're aware, this is maybe the best finish that we've had.
Wow. Awesome. Congratulations. And good.
If I could just add, I think there was a lot of momentum going into this year's race because we felt like we were going to do very well, and with the community and the involvement from the police association, we're attempting to reach further into the community and put Baldwin Park on the map as a great place to be, great place to work as a police officer, a great place to visit. And I heard from the LA County supervisors today, or their office, and we are organizing and will have on September 10th a memorial run for September 11th for first responders and military, and we'll be hosting that at the Santa Fe Dam, and we expect that there's going to be a fantastic turnout. We're hoping to get with LA County Fire. I see the chief is here. And coordinate that and make it a great event for Baldwin Park. And a lot of that will be not necessarily fundraising for ourselves, but promotion of the city and an ability to donate and give back to the community in a lot of different forms. We are constantly approached by a lot of the athletic teams and organizations in the city for assistance, and we would like to do that, but sometimes our financial means are confined. And at the same time, we're hoping to make donations to the fallen warriors funds, fallen police officer funds, memorial funds that the state and the federal government have. So we're hoping to involve all those people in the beginning stages, but we have that date locked down for September 10th, and it should be a fantastic event. So.
And just to follow up on that,
yes.
I'm sorry, Councilwoman Rubio. Just to follow up on that too, one of the things that Jason didn't mention was that donations were given. Also, this is a strictly volunteer event by the police department, and donations were given by the community to help support it and to support their efforts. The hotels don't come for free. The clothes don't come for free. The mugs don't come for free. So a lot of the business members helped support this run, and we were very grateful for that.
Awesome.
Mayor,
yes.
I was just going to say, first of all, thank you. I think it's important that you guys are doing this, and I know that events like this do bring recognition to small communities, and I think that's wonderful that you're doing it, not just for recognition, but we do have to recognize all the servicemen and women that, often lose their lives just trying to help us, and so it's really important that we recognize fallen heroes. And but I would say, I know that you said it's not a fundraising event, and sometimes you're strapped for money. So I would suggest that if we can help you as a city financially, I would propose to the council that we help you with resources, for example, providing our staff from Parks and Recs to help organize and set up and that kind of stuff. So my council colleagues agree. I would like to at least participate in that matter and provide support to the police department. Thank you.
Thank you. Sounds good. Yes.
I just want to say this is fantastic. When I heard the news, I thought, yes, we made it on the map. But thank you very much. I know it takes a lot of training. I saw some of the guys going up and down the steps back there and training and so forth. I know that even though it's in the middle of the night, it is hot. So I thank you so very much for making us proud, like you always do. But thank you so much for what you do for our community. Looking forward to September the 10th, and of course, the fantastic toy drive that you do for our children that brings so many smiles and happiness to our families. Thank you.
Yeah, and I want to say, go ahead, Councilmember.
I just want to say fabulous job and congratulations. I know you guys are always working hard. I see a lot of cohesive within the department, and this just shows the teamwork that you do. On your volunteer times, all of you got together and won this trophy as a team, and that exemplifies a lot of the work that you do out in our community as police officers, a lot of the hard work you're doing. I know it's a thankless job a lot of times, but we appreciate it. The community supports you and all the hard work that you guys do. So thank you for what you guys do, and we're supporting you 100%.
Thank you, sir.
I want to thank the whole team. I ran into them over at Mount San Antonio College one time. That's where I go run. I'm an avid runner, have been since 1976. I was in cross country and track. Wasn't probably at the level that Carlos was, of course.
Yeah.
But and I've run all the 5Ks in the city. I've missed only one out of the 22, the 22nd that's coming up. I've never won a medallion, and hopefully this time I put a better effort in working on my speed. But I look forward, and I know that, Sarge, you said that the actual association are going to be out there running this year, right? And the 5K with us? Okay,
Well, I didn't mention it, Mayor, but if you're not careful, we might have you run one of the legs if you're out there too much.
I'll definitely do it.
Well, I think it should be a council challenge, and we should all participate, not just the mayor, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just so everybody knows, that's one of the top-rated cross-country courses at Mount Sac in the country.
Yes,
it's very difficult to run, and we're fortunate to have that nearby where we did do a lot of training there this year.
Wow.
And I expect that to continue, but maybe, there's an opportunity where you can get a medal at our upcoming run in September. Because we hope to turn that into really the beginning of the season where everybody starts training for the Baker to Vegas, and we hope to invite all the surrounding agencies and people that participate and really kind of kick it off there.
Yeah, because my 5K, the best time is what, 22 minutes of 5K? But I'm in my mid-50s, but the ones in the 60s are coming in a lot faster than I am. And the category of 19, 20, 21, 22, yes. We do. That's right. That's amazing.
We'll hope for next year's race to get under 16 hours.
All right.
So we were just under 17 hours this past race. So this next year we'll hope to get under 16.
Wow. Awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank
Jason,
you.
all I would say is as soon as you have the flyer for that event that you guys plan to have on September 10th, please provide it to us so we can make sure that it gets out. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. At this point, we don't have anything else. We're going to go and open up the public communication. Anyone wishing to speak?
Did the public give him an
Oh, yeah. We have one agenda item that we're requesting. Oh, Jason, thanks a lot for the mugs. Excellent.
So can the public give him a great hand of applause for Dave?
Let's have a big round of applause for our police department.
Hey, welcome back. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Hey, thank you. Yes, we're going to actually request to put an item. Am I correct?
Yes, it's come to my attention that there's a subsequent need item that came up after the posting of the agenda. There's an immediate need to hire an interim HR manager because the position is critical to the functioning of the city and has been vacant for several weeks. In order to place this on the agenda, because the issue came up after, and what I mean by the issue came up is we were informed by CalPERS that they want a resolution related to this appointment, so we didn't do that at the last meeting, and we only found out about this yesterday after the agenda was posted. So that's why it's a subsequent need. That's why we have to do a resolution. In order to place this on the agenda, there will need to be a motion to place a resolution authorizing appointment of an HR manager on the agenda, and there would have to be a 2/3 vote in order to pass that motion.
All right,
Make a motion now.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that we do a resolution so that we can hire or put on board an interim HR person.
And giving the CEO authority to appoint.
I'm sorry, and giving the CEO authority.
I second that motion.
Second. Any objections? See none, so move. All right. Thank you very much. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and open up the public communication.
My name is Rita Garcia, and I'd like to recognize the council. Thank you. And LAPD, excuse me, my grandson runs on that at Baker, Vegas. Not my grandson, excuse me, my nephew. He didn't this last time he had back surgery. Ruben Olguin and Mark Olguin, I don't know if you heard of them. Anyway, about a year ago or more, I spoke to you about a light signal on Los Angeles and Hornbrook. Not only is it a dangerous cross street there. But also it holds up traffic coming off the 605 freeway because of the boulevard stop. It's smooth when it's a signal light, but when it comes to the boulevard stop, you have that stop and go after work. Okay, when they're going west on Los Angeles Street, they hit all these light signals, so they miss the boulevard stop. And we've had many close calls, and at that time I mentioned to you that there was even a police car that was demolished there. And there's always accidents there for that reason. I know that a new street light was put in on Los Angeles Street. I believe it was on Stewart or La Rica, on La Rica. And I was kind of hoping that you would think of us. I know it's expensive, but if you could at least put a flashing boulevard stop, anything to keep them. We can't even cross the street. It's dangerous for us to cross the street. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Real quick, just want to let you know that there are plans, and I know that's in the process. Do we have a date yet?
Los Angeles and Hornbrook is item 6 on the agenda this evening.
Oh, it's on the agenda tonight, alrighty. But it is going to go in.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're going to award a bid tonight for that. All right, moving along with public communication. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. My name is Elena Robles, and I'm here on behalf of Congresswoman Grace Napolitano.
Oh, thank you.
And I brought the flyers you mentioned. Councilmember Pacheco, thank you for that. And I want to just reiterate, this is our 5th annual Veterans Forum. This forum takes place Saturday, June 25th from 8 a.m. until the last veteran is served. We are going to have representatives from the VA and the VA Long Beach healthcare system to talk to you one-on-one. So we want to encourage the city and the community members to get the word out on this event. I will email the flyer to you so you could place it on our website and send it to all your contacts if possible. But we really want to help as many veterans as possible. So as much as you could do for us in helping us get that word out, we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank the Congresswoman for the phenomenal job that she does representing the district. Thank you very much. Yes. Oh, yes. Councilmember Cruz Baca has a question. That's fine.
Elena, let me ask you, if a veteran would like to attend, do they need to register ahead of time, or can they just walk in?
Sorry. They could just walk in, but we want to get an idea of how many people we expect so they could bring more representatives from the VA. So there is an Eventbrite website here. It's not necessary. They could even call us and we will register them. I'll leave some flyers in the back by the agendas.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elena.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. All right, moving along with public communication. Thank you. Sorry about that. That's fine. I know. Sorry about that. Uh-huh.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Irma Munoz, and I am here to, I guess I'm going to have to share the good news that Mr. Pacheco had shared about the Wayne Manor project that has been canceled. And I was here for 2 items.
Yes, ma'am.
But I guess now it's going to be just one.
Okay.
And the number one is that we wanted to thank the council members for all the support that we have received in emphasizing the importance of the safety of our children. This is the Dianza school community, and we want to recognize the support that you have provided for us and to thank you. And I'm going to share the good news to the parents and to the residents that participated. We have been working together for over a year in having marches, having meetings, having support rallies. And so I don't know how it happened, when it happened, but we really want to thank you for the support, because this cancellation is great news for us. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, moving along with public communication.
Hello, City Council, residents of Baldwin Park. Eminent domain. You people up here, I don't know about you anymore. Every time I come here, you just seem to throw the city away. You take property under eminent domain from these American citizens and business people to benefit a corporation that's got millions of dollars. Montebello Project's a good example. And I guess none of you have the courage enough to stand up and tell these people out here, including me, how much money we're losing. I keep telling you 40 million, maybe 80 million, and none of you have the gall enough to stand up and say, yeah, we are. You know why? Because you're scared to tell us how much in debt we're going to be. For this outfit to make money, you'd have to rent everything they built, like instantly, and produce money. But no, you'll take it from some business, some homeowner that's been saying, I'm going to save this so that I have something when I retire. Well, you people are going to take it away from them. You did it before, and you will continue doing it. You're cowards using eminent domain. The lawyer, all of you, including the whole bunch of you. You should not use the eminent domain in this country. Number one, you don't own a freeway. And number two, you're taking people's property. Okay, you're giving a fair market value. How come you didn't do it 5-6 years ago when it was $600,000 instead of $300,000? No, you wait till the money drops and then, we'll get it at a cheaper price. I know you're going to come up with some phony excuse. We're going to give them a little above fair market value. Where can you go and pay the property tax that you pay in this city right now somewhere else? You don't have the authority to give it. The county does, but you guys don't. But you sure look at, we'll take their property, benefit some corporation that got tons of money. Good example, Walmart. Good example, Kaiser, even though I go there. Another good example, Home Depot. I can keep going on and on and on. Oh, the hotel. Okay, you get the bed tax out of there. What, 50 cents a bed? I know you're going to say he doesn't know what he's talking about. But I'll tell you one thing. In this country, you should not use eminent domain. It's not reasonable. In other countries, it's a dictatorship or a direct government. That's what you people have become.
Mr. Luna, your 3 minutes are up.
There goes the 3 minutes.
Okay, all right, thank you very much, Mr. Luna. All right, moving on with public communication. Good evening.
Good evening. At the previous meeting, I brought up the numerous amounts of contracts the city has been approving. The mayor's response was completely vague and I cannot accept it. Sometimes you must agree to disagree is not a proper answer to an issue involving hundreds of thousands of dollars. I asked you to explain how these contracts will benefit the city. You failed to answer my request and instead just stated you voted in favor of it. The decisions this council has been making lately make no sense. What I am asking for is for those members who are in favor of such decisions to explain in full detail why they support these actions and how they will ultimately benefit us. What worries me most is these answers seem to be a regular thing. I asked you to defend your view on opening the schools as green space, and you didn't do it. Our council members should be able to fully defend any and all actions they support. A lack of detail tends to imply that city actions are not often thought through and lead residents to assume special interests are at hand. And so I ask you to exceed expectations by interacting with residents and answering concerns with real detail. When it comes to money, I expect our representatives to be able to explain from a business perspective why they approve of plans. We need to know about revenue, cost, and how our money is working for us. I raised concern regarding the lack of lighting in our city. How is it that a city that can completely ignore the needed reparations at their main park? You have all spoke about wanting more green space, yet it seems this council cannot even maintain the green space it already has. Not one relevant answer to my question. Councilmember Garcia instead brought up Walnut Creek and Ricardo Pacheco answered with the new roads rhetoric. Walnut Creek does not meet the needs of over half of our city, and to try to validate the negligence of another park with the rehab of this one is not acceptable. Our brand new roads look great, but as long as our residents have nowhere to go, they will use these roads to spend their money and time in other cities. This council seems to stagnate by reminiscing on past accomplishments, when we should instead create synergy and continuously seek out ways to improve our city. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, move along with public communication. See no further interest, and I declare the public communication closed. All right, yes, Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco. Yes, sir. I just closed it. All right, okay. So at this point, I closed it. I'm sorry about that. All right, all right. All right, so at this point, right, so, yeah, sorry about that. All right. So at this point, the signal light, Mr. Wall, we could, well, it's too late to put it in the actual now because it's already gone on.
Actually,
when is it scheduled?
The traffic signal is item number 6 for consideration of awarding a contract.
So what are we talking about? 3 months, 4 months?
Yes, within 3 months it should be.
So what we'll do tonight, obviously we're going to address it, is let's place it in the now, on the front page so the residents know that, because I know the tremendous amount of traffic that just accumulates. And part of it is Irwindale as well. So, and it kicks into Baldwin Park. So that's kind of become a thoroughfare as well. So just want to address that particular area. Just about the Wayne Manor, yes, I think that's great about that it's not being built. And of course, I think the owner, various conversations that he had, knew it was going to be an uphill battle. And it was not, of course, in the best interests of the city of Baldwin Park. But at the same time, we're going to definitely look and see what else is being proposed in that particular parcel. So just want to let you know that.
Mayor.
Yes.
Excuse me,
sorry,
real fast.
sorry about that. Yes.
Because I know that it's been brought to probably your attention as well.
Sure.
Could we remove the Wayne Manor from our website? There's an icon
Yeah,
there.
you're right.
Everybody complains about
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
I was searching through
Okay.
for something today on
There.
our website, and I happened to see it again, and I think
Yeah.
let's just remove it. It avoids a lot of phone calls.
All righty. Okay, all right. And then also to address Mr. Luna, I mean, the city, we're going to go in the process of the actual economy and our budget, so invite you and others to be there as well. The city is in good standing, but at the same time, we're going to have to continue to make sure that we are looking at every expenditure and what is good for the city as well. The reference about the city and the contracts, the gentleman that came up here, you're welcome to come to City Hall, sit with the CEO or some of us as well. So we want to look at what's been approved and what's benefit the city. And I'll tell you, a good portion of what we've done here in the city has been excellent. And as I stated before, you have your personal opinion, and that's fine. And when you come up here and you state your information, you're welcome to do that. This council has made excellent decisions in many perspectives. And the contracts, they're available. That's public access if you want to review them on your own as well. So just want to let you know that. But I want to thank you for your interest. We are no different than any other city. We lost the redevelopment agency, which is referred to as a successor agency, that does not allow us to be able to go out and attract potential businesses. The ones that have to come in here basically have to pay on their own, and that's the reality. And that's been troublesome for many cities besides the city of Baldwin Park. But I think the economic decisions that we made when this decision hit, tying up our belt, we are continuing on successfully, and we're looking forward as well. So just want to end on that particular area. So at this point, unless council members have anything else to say, I'm going to go ahead and move into
Mayor, I just
Yes.
wanted to, somebody approached me again about the noise level on the on the train. Can you, Shannon, sort of give us an update? I know you've been trying to make efforts, and can you just fill us in for the public knowledge? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Dan Wallen and myself have been meeting with Metrolink, the Congresswoman's office, several other agencies, gathering information. We did find out, and the CEO from Metrolink will address the council at the next meeting. They've actually installed some engines for some safety reasons with a higher noise level, and this is temporary, and they're working on getting those reduced right away, and I think that's why the complaint's elevated. So we'll have that report for you at the next meeting. And then Dan is also working towards looking at grants for the quiet zones, because even though the horns will be lowered, their level will be lowered a little bit, we still want to look towards installing quiet zones throughout the city.
You know, I think when I'm glad you brought that up, I think we should probably join with the city of Covina, because they've also taken that to task as well. Maybe do kind of a joint venture participation with them. This past, actually was on Tuesday. I stopped right here, was the only car. It was late in the evening, and there's no one there. And that guy's blaring that horn just past it. Wow, it's incredible. So I don't know, at times it kind of feels like they just do it, for the fun of it. Probably not, because I know there's federal laws behind it, but you could hear that, and it just really blasts. So whatever we can do, I want to thank the Congresswoman. The last time I saw her, I spoke to her about that. And I know it's going to take, from my understanding, thousands, if not millions of dollars. So I don't know if we could do a joint venture, some type of grants, and we'll have the Congresswoman Napolitano also in it as well to see what we can do to combine it with Covina as well.
Thank you for that,
if I may-
Yes.
Go ahead, Councilman.
No, I just want to say thank you because I know it makes sense why they've been complaining more. It is louder, and I just, after you said that, it just made sense. Thank you for clarifying that.
All right. All right.
Mayor, I thought on another note, we could possibly take this issue to the COGS, the San Gabriel Valley COGS. Representative, I believe, is Councilwoman Baca.
Yeah.
And if we could go there and talk about how we could bring this issue to them and be able to resolve it at that level, because the COGS is the representative for the San Gabriel Valley and a number of cities, and I think it would just have more strength with that. There are a lot of cities side with us, especially those along the railroad area, and possibly we can find a resolution to that.
I was going to say, yeah, in regards to the COG, what it is, we just had a study session recently, and they asked all the cities to basically prioritize all the needs for the San Gabriel Valley, and that just didn't make the list, and they have like 10 other ones, and we'll definitely go back and fight for it, but the way they designed the project for the next year is based on the top priority for each city, and even including ourselves, that didn't come up as a top priority at the time. So, but we'll continue to fight. We will continue to fight. Thank you.
Okay, I just think, we're members. I understand they have a priority list and that, but we're all members. We're paying some good money to be there, and there's got to be some way, if we're not the priority, somehow they could address it for us. And I think if it takes all 5 of us to go there and ask, I think we do that.
Excuse me.
Mayor and I, Lozano, stood up on a number of occasions because we felt that the COGS did not represent Baldwin Park very well, and I hope this is not another example of them not supporting us on an issue that's important to this community. Thank you, Mayor.
Well,
Thank you. Yes,
I did attend the last COG meeting, and I did share the information with Shannon. It was brought up along with Councilmember Stapleton from the city of Covina, and both of us aired the noise problem and how serious it is. They explained to us about the BSNF engines, are those new engines, those ugly looking engines that you see that are pulling the metro train, and the noise. The one thing that they did sort of agree upon was that maybe they could cut the horns early in the morning between 5:30 and 11, because that seems to be like the worst time. They are looking into that. Like I said, I did share the information. I did speak, you know me, very loudly, along with Councilmember Stapleton. When they said, is there anything else? And I said, absolutely. We need help with the noise from the train. I explained to them that there's times I'm sitting in my kitchen on the phone, and some of you might have been on the phone with me or sharing something. I can't hear the conversation at all. So I mentioned that to them, and I think that they are looking into it. Like I said, Shannon has the information, and I'm sure he's had meetings and will continue. But we are, Councilmember Pacheco, very aggressively. I live right there, like a few feet away from it. So you're preaching to the choir.
I'll say this, Councilmember Pacheco, that I agree with you, and perhaps a letter then it would make a bigger statement from the city signed by all council members, and I would agree with that because they need to know we're all expressing concerns over the same issue. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. The next one is the consent calendar, which is items 1 through 8. Councilmember wishing to pull any item?
Move approval of items 1 through 8.
All right, I'll second. Any objections? See none, so move. Wow, that's exciting. All right, the public hearing, which item 9, conduct a second public hearing regarding fiscal year 2016-2017, Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, and Home Investment Partnership and Fund Home Annual Action Plan. So, Susan Relis, good evening.
I'm here.
Good evening.
Good evening, sorry. Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. Tonight is the final public hearing required for the approval of the 2016-17 CDBG and Home Annual Action Plan, which is due to HUD by May 15th. As you might recall, in the first public hearing in March, City Council approved the allocations for public service programs, including $5,000 to St. John's social service programs. This amount exceeded the request by $2,850 and was subject to acceptance by the agency. Unfortunately, although grateful for the additional funds, St. John's has declined the increased amount due to staffing limitations. Therefore, the $2,850 must now be reallocated to another public service program or any other CDBG program. Final funding for public services and all other CDBG and home projects will be approved through the attached annual action plan. And the side screen, I can lift it up again if you'd like to discuss the $2,850. I'm
Well,
here if you have any questions.
Susie, are you here? We're supposed to restore the 2,000 overage from St. John that they're rejecting and put it back into wherever
Whichever
need.
project you see fit. And it's not required to be a public service. It could be any project you'd like it to be.
Within the CDBG.
Within
Yeah,
CDBG.
I would like to, well, I make a motion to restore back to the original organizations that our committee had originally recommended, because I know it was taken from some to put in others. I personally, since they spend so much time analyzing and going over the applications, I make a motion to restore it back to who we took it from.
Second.
Thank you.
I
second.
Second, any objections? Seeing none, so move. All right.
Just for clarification,
Yes.
it's exactly what the public, what the commissioners recommend.
Where that money was originally taken from, yes.
Okay, great.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you very much. All right, this point, I'm going to open up the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of the current item? Any opposition? Seeing none, so move. In this point, I will now close the public hearing. At this point, council members? If not, I'll go ahead and move for the approval of the fiscal year 2016-17 CDBG and home annual plan action. That is my motion.
I'll second it.
Any objections? Seeing none, so moved. All right, item 10, which is the introduction of the ordinance 1387, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Baldwin Park, amending Chapter 73 of the Baldwin Park Municipal Code relating to speed limit on certain streets. So, yes, Mr. Danwell.
So, Honorable Mayor and City Council members, every 5 years, the city is required to conduct an engineering survey, also known as a speed survey of city streets, in order to allow the police department to use radar to enforce speed limits. These speed limits are established in the speed survey based on the reasonable driver's speed. So in 2015, we conducted a survey of the speeds. We've been doing an analysis of them. We've compared not just the actual speeds on those streets, but any safety improvements or planned developments in those areas. And we came up with 3 streets that require a change in the speed limits to meet the criteria for radar enforcement. Those streets are Big Dalton Avenue between Pacific Avenue and the 10 freeway. We're recommending an increase from 25 miles an hour to 30 miles an hour. On Rivergrade Road between Brooks Drive and Live Oak Avenue, we're recommending a decrease from 50 miles an hour to 40 miles an hour. And on Main Avenue between Los Angeles and Ramona Boulevard, we're recommending an increase from 25 to 35 miles an hour.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the last one, please?
Sure. Main Avenue from Los Angeles Street to Ramona, from an increase from 25 to 35. North of Los Angeles, it's currently 35, and so that would just have a continuation of that speed limit.
I'm a little curious, if I may ask a question. The river grade, I'm curious why it was decreased. I know it's more industrial and it feels like a freeway. I'm just curious why the decrease on that number.
When we actually put the counters out and paced the vehicle speeds there, the 85th percentile speed, meaning that 85% of the drivers drove at 40 miles per hour or less. Mm-hmm. And so that seemed to be the reasonable speed that people should drive on that street.
Okay. Thank you.
Mayor, I have a question.
Yes, Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco.
The streets on Pacific, Big Dalton, and Violin, those streets are a number of complaints as far as the speed limit goes in those streets. I'm just a little surprised that they went from 25 to 30. Now, Pacific Avenue, by the time you get to Van Wijk and Dutch, people are doing freeway speeds. They're up to 60, 65. On Big Dalton, if you walk that street, they're all going to complain about how fast cars go there because they get midway between that street and they're speeding pretty quick. Now, Violent Street, they had some traffic calming, and I think that right by the Violent School, and that really slowed things down for this. I don't get that many complaints out there. Main Street from, I guess we're in front of City Hall, I guess the Pacific, all the way down Main Street to about Target. There's a lot of issues there on that street as far as speed goes, especially when you cross Merced. From Merced to, I guess it's Francisquito, right in there by that church. There's a church kind of midway that goes from Main to Baldwin Park Boulevard. There seems to be, by the time you get there, they're doing like 50 miles an hour. So I'm a little concerned as to why we're kind of increasing. And we probably need more traffic calming on those 3 streets. It's planned into our process to be able to cover those areas.
So, council member, to address your concerns, we're not proposing an increase on Pacific or on Vineland. We're proposing an increase on Big Dalton between Pacific Avenue and the 10. And so maybe when I spoke earlier, I didn't enunciate that enough. So it's just Big Dalton. It's a 5 mile per hour increase, and that's to allow the police to use radar to enforce it. While we may want to calm the traffic there, these speed limits need to be increased to allow for police to use radar to enforce the speed limits. We can go and do some installation of some speed calming, of some traffic calming rather, to decrease those speeds through an engineering approach. We'll do that as funding is available. But currently, the item before you is to allow the police an enforcement tool with radar.
Okay. I mean, I was just giving you feedback as far as the other streets that I'm concerned with,
Sure.
that there's a lot of traffic that goes through there. So by increasing the speed limit at these two streets from 25 to 30, explain why is it that you couldn't use radar if it was less than that? So
in California, in order to prevent there from being speed traps that unfairly target motorists and as a revenue measure, I guess some smaller cities in the past had done that. So California adopted a requirement that an engineering study be done to establish speed limits to allow for radar enforcement. This engineering study is based on what the average driver drives those streets at. And so when 85% of the traffic on a street is at a certain speed limit, it's determined that speed limit, that is what, at a certain speed, that is what the speed limit should be for that street. That's the de facto safe speed on that street. And so that's the requirement for making these changes.
Okay. How long would it take to put more traffic calming within those streets? And what would that take?
It's a funding issue. So I can meet with you to discuss the streets that you have concerns with, and then we can put together something to bring before the council for traffic calming.
Okay, let's do that. Let's meet on that part. And I don't know, I'm a little reluctant to vote for the increase unless there's more traffic calming.
What do you want to do? You want to bring it back?
You want
to approve it?
No, we'll just approve it as is. But I just want to express to staff my concern. Sure. I know I'm going to get, or a lot of us will get calls for the increase in speed, and just be prepared for it. But if with radar, we can if the residents see that the police are actively out there with radar and doing what it takes to calm the traffic, maybe that'll also do it. I mean, what would be the plan then if we increase the speed? How often will the police get out there and use radar?
I'll take it, Dan. We'll be out there as often as we get complaints in the area. If we see an increase in speed and complaints, we'll certainly have our traffic person out there with radar, which is a deterrent in itself and a calming effect.
Okay. What about the trailer that you used to put out there that had the, like how your speed limit is that?
I believe the trailer is not functioning right now. Is that correct, Captain Bartolotti? Yeah. We'll be back soon. It's older trailer. We've had it a long time, and it's kind of on its last legs.
Okay. Let's talk about funding for a couple of new ones, because I've been hearing for the last while that that thing hasn't been working. So maybe we need a couple of new ones.
Absolutely.
Talk about that. Thank you.
I think that's what California Consulting is working on, some funding for the police department for grants.
I don't know. I haven't heard of anything like that.
Oh, they sent us a report.
They didn't talk about traffic equipment like that specifically.
Okay. Well, they sent us a report.
Okay. Well, I didn't see that.
Already? Okay.
Do you want me to make a motion? Are you okay with it? Yeah. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve it. I know it's time sensitive for the police. Thank you.
All right, is there a second? Second, any objections? See none, so move. All right, at this point, we're going to go over to the reports of officers, the approval resolution. Can we move this over?
I reckon we move the next two items over.
I had one concern, Mayor. We wanted to get appointments to Section 12 because the current human resources manager has left the city, so we needed someone to attend the ICRMA meetings. Currently, the council representative is Councilmember Pacheco, with yourself as the alternate, and then the substitute alternate. I would recommend that you appoint myself.
Okay, we'll go ahead and appoint you. We'll
I'll
make that
second
one
that.
per second. Any objection? See none, so moved. Then we'll bring the rest next time around. All right. Anyone else wishing no further items on here before we close? Yes.
I just have a question on these commissions, only because I go to a lot of the meetings like the rest of you, but I don't know if it would be possible to have like a committee or a subcommittee where a group of people can get together and decide what would help Baldwin Park to sort of look nicer. I know that in West Covina they call it Beautiful West Covina or something like that, and in Covina they call it Attractive Covina or whatever it is. I was just thinking, I know that years ago there was something like that here in Baldwin Park.
Mr. Bill Van Cleese, Baldwin Park, beautiful.
Okay, so I was thinking if we could, I don't know what it takes to, or if we need to vote on it, but I thought if we could have a committee with maybe a couple of residents and parents and maybe a business owner or two, and that way they can sort of be our representatives and say, we would like to fix this street or that street or the storefront over here, or there's weeds over there, or whatever it happens to be.
Mayor, if I could suggest possibly have a study session inviting the residents, have the whole council so we're all involved.
Sure.
And just have everybody come over. We'll talk specifically about that. But you're talking about complaints in specific areas that the residents may have that they could express to us.
Well, I'm talking about not just code enforcement. I'm just talking about beautiful Baldwin Park. Just maybe even inviting other activities or other things to come into our town that sort of incorporate to sort of make Baldwin Park beautiful.
Okay, the Baldwin Park Beautiful program that we had at one time was pretty much led by Parks and Recreation, and they would have these events like on Earth Day, or it was like every quarter where they would get together and we would clean specific parts of the town. So we'd get all the students from different high schools and schools and any other volunteer, and we would just go to a street or a block and just kind of clean up the street that needed the most cleaning. Is that what you're looking at doing?
I'm looking at something like that, but also to expand it a little, to say, for instance, maybe offer to help a senior citizen clean up their yard if there's too many weeds, especially right now with a lot of the abatement that's going on. There's a lot of people in my neighborhood that I've sent young kids over to help them clean their front yards. So it's things like that this committee, that's what they would do. They would look for volunteers. They would look for, let's pick up the trash day, like you said. I remember because I used to volunteer for that with Mr. Was it Van Cleve that did that?
Yeah, it was Councilman Van Cleve.
It was Bill Van Cleve.
And I volunteered for that years ago, and I think a lot of the people here in the audience did as well. I'm just looking for something to sort of, beautify Baldwin Park.
Councilmember Cruz, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I remember, and maybe you guys will recall, like maybe 2 years ago, I recommended that we start an environmental commission because essentially, I don't know if Manuel Carrillo remembers that. It was outlined in terms of what the responsibilities were going to be. At the time, the idea was dismissed, but it was essentially that because, we always talk about not necessarily Parks and Recs doing it because everyone seems to be overwhelmed, and I know that the residents want to clean up the city, and it was more comprised of people in the community that have expertise. I remember Al Contreras volunteering because he's an arborist. He's certified in trees, and he would go out and make sure that they're not falling and that kind of stuff. And then we would have student commissioners, and so I'd like to re-explore that because that would tackle some of the issues. I know as council members and staff, sometimes again we don't have time to go out, but they would be sort of a patrol, if you will, where they would go out in different corners of the city and find the need for us. So they would find these corners that we need to beautify, and we would figure out as council members how we want to spend resources to help in that respect. So would you consider, Ricardo Pacheco, re-exploring and calling it an
I would say let's have a
commission?
study session on this issue and kind of go from there and have staff bring back how that Baldwin Park Beautiful program works and how we want to expand it or how it works and what we could do to be involved.
Yes, but I'm looking more for volunteers or like a committee that would do that, like we do with our commissioners.
It was a volunteer program.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for. I know our staff, it does a great job, but I also understand how overwhelmed and stretched to the fullest they are. So I think that if we could do something like that, I think it would also sort of bring some of our volunteers and people out there to help. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so real quick before we end, Mr. Dan Wall, sir. I want to look at placing some what do you call it, the speed bumps as you exit off. If you're coming east on the 10 freeway, exit off on Fraser. I mean, that's a thoroughfare, and it has been for quite some time, and I think it's like a permanent thoroughfare, even though you have the road going towards along Kaiser. Those residents, God, they get just so many cars speeding right down there. So let's see if we could put maybe 2 or 3 speed bumps in that area. You know where I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly where you're talking about. We're currently designing a traffic calming for that entire corridor.
Oh, good.
So that's once the designs are close to finalizing, I'll present them to the council for your take on them prior to us going out to bid.
Because it's kind of a really challenging area there for some of the residents that live there. All right, so at this point, yes. Yes, of course.
To Dan, I want to commend you and everybody that has worked on that project on Francisquito in front of Sierra Vista. Those crosswalks are beautiful. This morning I was driving by, I forgot about the lights, and I'm driving and I see a lot of lights. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? Everybody has slowed down a lot. It has made it a lot safer for the students. There's 2 brand new crosswalks, and they also have the sidewalk was made especially for the handicapped so they can go down and cross the street. It came out very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
that's your taxpayers' dollars at work, so you guys did a great job. Thank you.
All right, so at this point, I'm going to move for adjournment. Second. Any objections? Seeing none, so move. Viva Baldwin Park.
Viva Dan.